All right. So I did a video recently that explained this concept right here. Okay, we're going to do it very, very simple so you can understand this. Okay, this is humans. Okay, and it's 18. This is Jesus, and it is 216, and this is God, and this is 432. And the thing that you need to know about this really quick is that there are two different speeds of light, or two different speeds of energy. The first one is going to be light. That is the speed of light, basically. And then you have love. Okay, and that's the speed of love. Notice L and L, same thing. Okay, except for the fact that one of these is going to be significantly faster than the other one, and that's love. E equals mc squared. Love is an energy. Love equals all mass times the speed of light squared. Is much faster. Okay, so so God moves at the speed of love, and so does Jesus. But the problem is that one of these is true and one of these is not. Jesus is not universal and therefore is not truth. God is universal. Every single one of us understands at the core of who we are that something created this. Until you can hold your hand and make a tree grow out of it, we have to accept the fact that there's something that created this awesomeness, and that is God. And that is why God is universal. Okay, if God moves at the speed of love, it is going to move through humans. So therefore, you cannot go C to A. Humans have a very, very difficult time going from A to C. It is possible, but it takes 24 actual steps because 18 times 24 is 432. Okay, for humans to go to Jesus Christ consciousness, which is what everyone is talking about right now, there are 12 steps. Okay, so you have to go through these 12 steps. It takes time. That's the whole entire point. Both of these will take time. For a human to go to God is very difficult. It takes a lot of work. There are some who have done it. For God to go to a human is impossible. It is impossible. One, it goes against your free will if God were to go ahead and take over your body. Two, God moves at the speed of love, which is faster than what humans see, which is the speed of light, and therefore it is impossible. So that leaves Jesus, and that plays a role as to why Jesus exists, because what happens is these two are now connected. Okay, Christ and God are connected in the fact that they are both illusions of your imagination. You have never met God, you have never met Christ in the way that we view it. And so therefore they are illusions. One is truth, one is not. God is the truth. Okay, and because God is the truth, God moves at the speed of love, the fastest. Christ then slows down to move to the speed of light, which is how we then can see Christ, which means that you as a human can bring Christ into your life. You can bring Christ consciousness into your life. You can embrace the walk of any of the masters, Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, any of them. You never met them, but you can bring them into your life. And when you bring them into your life, you now have 216 plus 18. Okay, that's 234. Revelations 13:18, which 13 times 18 is 234. Okay, says, he who hath wisdom, let him count the number of the beast, and the number is a man, and the number is 666. Okay, 216, which is also Revelations. If you go to Revelations 2:16, it says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, also representing the 666. Okay, so 216 plus 18 is 234. 234 plus 432 is 666. Okay, the earth tilts at 23.4 degrees. All right, 90-degree angles, which if you look at your cross, okay, 90-degree angles minus 23.4 equals 66.6. The Egyptians that are standing with their legs going this way, this is 23.6 4 degrees. Okay, it's all over the place. And the reason it's all over the place is because 2, 3, 4 is the mirror of 4, 3, 2. Christ and you is the mirror of God. It's the whole entire point. And so when you take the mirror, you take the vision that you see in the mirror and you add it to what is behind the mirror, you end up with the complete image. That's what it's talking about. That's this whole entire message in the Bible. And this is the understanding then of sacred geometry, of shapes. Is that shapes reveal far more information than what we actually think. All right, take Pythagoras' triangle. The greatest version. We'll take that 3, 4, 5 triangle. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. 27 plus 64 plus 125 is 216. Okay, these numbers are everywhere. They're used everywhere. You have 86,400 seconds in a day. You have 1 beat of your heart per second. So you should have 86,400 beats and a healthy heart a day. Everything is all connected, and it's amazing when you start to put it together. So full circle on this whole entire thing is that you have the Fibonacci, which is 0. I'm going to start at this point. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. And then we're going to add it with the digital root. So 5 plus 8 is going to end up being 4 because it's 13. 4 plus 8 is going to be 3 because it's 12. 3 plus 4 is going to be 7. 7 and 3 is going to be 10, which is going to be a 1. 7 and 1 is going to be an 8. 8 and 1 is going to be a 9. That is 13. Oops, sorry. That's 13 digits total, but 0 is a holder. Okay. And it's always been a holder. 0 has always just been a placeholder. It does not change in this situation either. 0 is just a placeholder. It's to get you to understand something. Okay. So 1 all the way down to 9 is going to be 12. And then you're going to have the other side, which if you were to keep going with Fibonacci, 8 plus 9 is going to be 8. As you can see, and then 8 plus 9 is going to be 8. 8 plus 8 is going to be 16, which is going to be 7. Then it's going to be 6. Then it's going to be 4, because that would be 13. Then it is going to be 1. Then it's going to be 5. Then it's going to be 6. Then it's going to be 2, because that would be 11. Then it's going to be 8. Then it's going to be 1. Then it's going to be 9. Okay, a little bit off here. Sorry. But the point is that connects in polar pairs. Okay, so what that means is it means that across you're going to balance perfectly with 9. Okay, so remember how I told you that if you want to get from human to God, you can do it in 24 steps? Well, guess what? You can do it in 24 hours. If you are aware for a total of 86,400 seconds, if you stayed in a meditation for a total of 86,400 seconds, if you were in a state of awareness and unconditional love for a total of 86,400 seconds, you would then be living at this level right here, the unconditional love level. Okay. If you were in a state of awareness, you would be able to accomplish this. So you can do it that way. But the reality is that you have chakras inside of your body. And most importantly, you have 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. That is 7 numbers. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are your 7 chakras. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you end up changing, let's say for whatever reason, you're dealing with Fibonacci and you want to take the last number of Fibonacci. Well, if you take the last number of Fibonacci, then this number right here, this 4 is going to be a 3, because the next number in Fibonacci is going to be 8 plus 5 is 13, which means you would take the 3. So then it would end up being 3, and then you would continue going down. If you decided to take the first digit of Fibonacci, then it would be a 1. Okay, as you can see here, it would be a 1, and then it would go down. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 are never going to change. They are solid. No matter what you do with Fibonacci, these ones right here, these 7 are not going to change. And those are your 7 chakras, your internal 7 chakras. Okay, now we're going to talk about the fact that you have external chakras another day. But for right now, we're focusing on these 7 chakras that are inside of your body. Okay, so now go to Genesis 13:18 again. All right, the very end of the book talked about the 666. The very beginning of the book has a 13:18, and it talks about how Abraham pitched his tent and built an altar to the Lord. Built an altar. Okay, pitched a tent, built an altar. That's what this is. This is an altar. Okay, now every altar that you build in your life has another side to it, has a side that is going to balance with 9. Whether or not you accept or use that information is completely up to you, but every single one of them has it. Okay, because of the fact that every 12 numbers that follow Fibonacci, the next 12 are going to equal to 9, just like this, no matter what. Okay, and I've taught a class on this. You can purchase the video, or I'm sure I'll talk about it more, but basically 12 up here, no matter what number, as long as it follows Fibonacci, which means this number plus this number gives you the new one, this one plus this one gives you the new one. So for instance, just to give an example, 0 plus 1 equals 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 1 equals 3, 3 plus 2 equals 5. So all you're doing is you're taking the number that came before, and then you'll end up with Fibonacci. And it doesn't matter what number you start with, every single 12 on 12 is going to give you 9s at the bottom. It'll line up perfectly with 9s. Why? Because you're not a mistake. Because this life is not a mistake. It is not something that has carries and leftovers or anything. It fits perfectly. It aligns epically. All right. So Abraham pitched his tent and built his altar. He built his altar. Where is the altar? When you get into the New Testament, the altar starts being changed into the word temple. Where do you have temples? In your mind. You have a left and a right temple. You have a left and a right brain. You have an odd and an even way that you perceive things. You have 2 eyes, and then you have the center, which is where they come together, and you no longer see them as separate. Okay, so whether you call it an altar or a temple, when it is talking about worshiping, when it's talking about building these things, it's talking about building the understanding of your 7 chakras, building the understanding of the balance of society, of the universe. It is about building something that you can actually stand on, something you can stand within, something you can worship in, something that is safe. Okay, building your temple. 13:18, which then ends up giving you 234. So the next thing that's really, really cool about this is that when you end up taking and you add these 12, so because again, 0 doesn't count. So you add these 12 right here, you're going to end up with 52, which is a 7. And when you add these right here, you end up with 65, which is a 2. Obviously, 7 and 2 is going to give you a 9. But 52 plus 65 is 117. Why does that matter? May not mean much, but when you add another one to that, 117 plus 117 is 234. He built his altar. 234. 234, which we now know is broken up into 216, which is Jesus, plus 18, which is us, plus that 432, the mirror of 234, or God in essence, ends up equaling to 666. All right. Seems like a lot of information. I completely understand that. And I'm going to be doing other videos to kind of break this down. But the understanding and the gist of it is this. Stop fearing things. Fear not. was one of the biggest messages of the whole Bible. It's the biggest message of the Quran. It's the biggest message of the Zohar and the Kibbaline. Fear not, right? So when you look at this number, when you start thinking negative things and fear and things like that, you need to shift your mind. If you're not finding the answers in the fear, then you need to shift your mind and start to think, maybe it's not supposed to be afraid. Maybe you're not supposed to be afraid. And when you shift just that part, you start to see how it all makes sense. And make no mistake, I taught a class on the Fibonacci that not only shows you the 12 on 12, it shows you every single number, okay? So as long as you have 24 of these numbers following Fibonacci, it will always equal to 117. Okay, 117 plus 117 is 234. 234 plus 432 is 666. 666 is the completion of this whole entire experience. All right, keep your 9 vibes aligned.